Hey there, everybody. How's it going? So, in today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about how to be more interesting, but not necessarily just interesting, but give you three categories for getting three new hobbies that make you more interesting. So, a little bit of backstory is that despite me being as much of a cutie pie as I am and amazing at everything, I've actually been single now for almost a decade. And in that time, I've dated around quite a bit, and I've made lots of friends. And within the friend groups and within people and just everything that I read online, I read a lot about dating and a lot about people and what makes them appealing. Not even just romantically, but in, what makes someone interesting, what makes someone kind of cool to be around. And one of the most common complaints that I see, especially with online dating, is that most people are really, really boring, right? It's the same 5 to 10 answers for everything that you get, right? So, for instance, you go on an app or you talk to someone and you ask them, what are your interests? What are you into? What are you going to get? I like traveling. I like my dog or cat if you're I like hiking, right? Actually, hiking's okay, but in general, right? So generic. These are just the same answers over and over and over again. So today, I just wanted to make this video and say, here's how to make yourself more interesting. Here's some hobbies. So I'm going to divide them into three categories, right? So the first way is to get a hobby in something that is physical, okay? And I don't just mean the gym, right? Everybody goes to the gym, especially guys, or you should be at least, right? That doesn't really stand out. But do something that's physical that is really social, right? And that has, maybe even some sort of competitive element. So, for instance, if you really like going to the gym, join a CrossFit kind of group. Maybe get into competitive CrossFit or try and do something akin to that, right? Or another one, something that I like to do was get involved in some sort of sport. So even something that seems really generic like football, right? Or American, whatever, American football, fine, because I'm here in Korea, whatever. Anyways, so American football or soccer or whatever, even while a lot of that stuff can seem pretty normal back whenever you're younger, when you're out in the real world and you're out in your 20s, 30s, etc., that stuff's cool and that's interesting. And not only that, but it keeps you physically fit and it puts you with other people, right? And specifically other like minded people. Two things that I did that I like to tell people a lot about is one, before I left Charlotte, I got a little bit into fencing. I actually used to do it back when I was younger. And then another thing was that I got a little bit into aerial arts, in particular the trapeze part of it. So, like, the trapeze artists doing stuff in the air. I cannot tell you how many times whenever I would talk to someone and I would ask, hey, what are your interests? Or hey, whatever. And I would get the same boring answers. And then they would say, well, what are yours? And I would say, oh, I'm into aerial arts. I do trapeze stuff. They would go, whoa, that's so cool, or whoa, I don't know what to say. And it was this immediate in for a cool conversation, whether it be romantic, just a friend, whatever, you get the deal. So, anyways, recap real quick. Do something that's physical, something that's physically challenging, but also socially stimulating as well. The next thing and the next hobby that you should really get into is something intellectual. So, a good example of this would be like a chess club, right? Again, you're also getting that social stimulation, but it's a lot more intellectual, right? Something that you really have to think about. Okay? So think about another thing, for instance, too, would be reading. And I don't just mean like reading every now and then, but I mean like really, really getting into reading. Like read books and then go to book clubs about it and talk to people about it. Write reviews online about it. Do something that it's really kind of pushing you a little bit and is making it so that you can also, again, talk to other people, but it gives you another in for a cool hobby, right? So again, you got one physical, cool. I like to be a competitive CrossFit person. And then two, I like to do competitive chess, or I like to play chess with other people at the chess club. Already, this guy's looking amazing. He probably eats chocolate bars every day. The whole spiel. An amazing guy. And then is the third kind of hobby is to do something that is creative, right? Do something where you are producing something that is really creative. So some examples of this would be running a YouTube channel, right? Even if it's a terrible, crappy channel where all you do is talk about the same 5 subjects and just sit here with no editing and talk about your life in a foreign country, at least that's producing something. And at least that's something kind of cool to say, right? So You could use YouTube channel. You could do art. You could do painting. You could do drawing. You could do whatever, but something where you are producing something that is creative. So again, like in conversation, right? Let's just use me as an example. Let's say I got this YouTube channel going and someone says, oh, okay, well, what's something that you do? Well, right now I run this YouTube channel. If you're upfront about it, right, immediately that's a cool thing. But even if you don't have a lot of subscribers or you're not big or it's not the best thing in the world, if you tell people about it and give them some kind of disclaimers, I feel like they still find that super cool because again, you're setting yourself apart from everybody else. So for instance, right, my YouTube channel, yeah, I got this YouTube channel. It's just me talking. I got a few subscribers, but it's what I like to do for fun sometimes. Whoa, this is interesting. Maybe the person likes you and thinks that's super cool. Maybe they don't. Maybe they think that's super lame. But at the end of the day, you're making an impression. And that's really what this is about, right? It's not only giving you 3 cool hobbies to do, but it's also making you memorable. And that's really what makes you stand out. So keep this in mind. And yeah, just try to be a little bit different. And that's 3 ideas there for you to get some cool hobbies. Yeah, so again, just to recap, do something that's physical, preferably a little bit competitive. Do something that is intellectually stimulating. Again, maybe competitive, maybe not, but something that really kind of pushes you. And then 3, do something that's creative. Do something where you are producing some sort of, creative art or something that you can be memorized for, right? Get those 3 down, learn how to tell them to people when you first meet them, learn how to bring them up in conversation, and it will make you getting friends and possibly dates so much easier. All right, thanks everybody. Have a nice day.